Look at a clock, 24 hours, 60 minutes each, ticking by, exactly the same all day, every day. An hour feels like a fixed amount of time, a solid, unchanging block, 1/24th of a day, always. But here's something strange. For most of human history, that was not true. An hour used to stretch and shrink. It was longer in summer and shorter in winter. The same hour could be 60 of our minutes on one day and 75 on another. Time used to breathe with the seasons, and then we froze it. So where did 24 come from? Why 60? And who took an hour that moved with the sun and nailed it down into something that never changes? Follow the trail back. It leads to the desert, to the stars, and finally to a machine. Start in ancient Egypt. Thousands of years ago, the Egyptians wanted to carve up the day, and they had a simple tool for daytime, the sun. They built early sundials, a shadow moving across the ground, and they split the sunlit part of the day into 12 pieces. Why 12? Here's one idea you can try on your own hand right now. Look at your fingers, not your thumb. Each finger has 3 little bones, 3 sections, 4 fingers, 3 sections each. 3 times 4 is 12. You can touch your thumb to each one and count to 12 on a single hand. For people counting by hand, 12 came naturally, so daytime got 12 hours. But that only covers half the day. What about the night? At night, the sun is gone. So the Egyptians looked up instead. They picked out a set of special stars spread around the sky, stars that rose in a steady, repeating order through the night. As each one climbed over the horizon, another slice of night had passed, and they used these stars to divide the darkness into 12 parts as well. 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. Add them together, and you get the number sitting on your clock right now, 24. But notice what they actually did. This is the strange part. They didn't cut the whole day into 24 equal blocks. They cut the daylight into 12, and the night into 12 separately. And daylight is not the same length all year. In summer, the days are long. In winter, they're short. So if you always split daytime into 12, no matter the season, then a daytime hour in summer is long, and a daytime hour in winter is short. The hour was not a fixed amount of time at all. It was a fraction of daylight. It grew and shrank with the seasons. Sit with how different that is. On a long summer day, your daylight hours were stretched out and generous. On a short winter day, those same hours squeezed down small. The only 2 days a year when day and night hours matched perfectly were the equinoxes, in spring and autumn, when light and dark are equal. For thousands of years, this was normal. People lived by hours that bent with the sun. Farmers, monks, whole cities. An hour was not a length. It was a share of the light. Now, the day had its 24, but the hour still needed to be split into smaller pieces, and for that, we owe a different people entirely. Travel back to Babylon and their mathematicians. The Babylonians didn't count in tens like we do. They counted in 60s, a base 60 system. To us, that sounds bizarre, but 60 has a hidden superpower. It can be divided cleanly, more ways than almost any small number. 60 splits evenly into halves, thirds, quarters, fifths, sixths, into 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, no messy leftovers. For people doing astronomy and trade by hand, with no calculators, that made 60 a dream to work with. You could slice it a dozen ways and always land on a whole number. So when it came time to divide the hour, that Babylonian 60 was still echoing through the ancient world. The hour was split into 60 minutes, and each minute again into 60 seconds. That is why, to this day, your clock counts in 60s, not because nature demands it, because 4,000 years ago, a civilization found 60 easy to divide. So now we have the whole recipe. 12 from the Egyptians doubled to 24. 60 from the Babylonians for the minutes and seconds. But remember, the hour is still breathing, still stretching in summer, shrinking in winter, still tied to the sun. Something had to freeze it, and that something was not a king, or a priest, or a scientist. It was a machine. Jump forward to medieval Europe, and the arrival of the mechanical clock. These early clocks worked with gears and weights, ticking at a steady beat. And that beat had one crucial feature. It could not see the sky. It had no idea whether it was summer or winter. It didn't know when the sun rose. It just ticked, evenly, forever. A machine like that cannot make a long summer hour and a short winter hour. It can only make one kind of hour, equal ones, the same length always. And once these clocks were built into towers in cities across Europe, everything changed. A town got a clock. It struck the hours for everyone, and to match the machine, the hours had to become equal. The old breathing seasonal hour quietly died, not because it was wrong, but because the clock could not keep it. The machine set the beat, and people fell in line with the machine. Your day was cut into equal blocks, because a tower full of gears could only count equal blocks. Think about what actually happened there. For thousands of years, the hour bent to fit the sun. Then, in a few centuries, the sun was overruled by a box of gears. We reshaped time to match our machine, and then we forgot we had ever done it. So look at your clock one more time. Those 24 rigid, identical hours are not a law of the universe. Nothing up in the sky ticks in equal hours. You inherited 12 from people counting on their knuckles, 60 from people counting in base 60. And the rigid, unchanging length of it all from a medieval machine that couldn't tell the seasons apart. An hour was never meant to be fixed. It used to move with the light, the way your own energy still does, long and open in summer, short and dark in winter. The clock hid that from you. It told you every hour is the same, but your body, deep down, still knows they're not. None of this means the clock is bad. Equal hours built the modern world. They let us share time, exactly, across the whole planet. It just means the thing on your wall is not nature, it's an invention. A brilliant, useful human invention, sitting on top of a far older, stranger idea of time. The next time an hour feels like it's crawling or racing past, remember, long before the machine, people would have simply agreed with you, because once, an hour really could be longer than an hour. If you like seeing the hidden machinery inside ordinary things, I have more of it. Subscribe, and I'll keep taking apart the world you stopped questioning. 24 hours, 60 minutes, it feels like the truth. But now you know who really cut up your day.